Okay, welcome to social media tools training for campaigns. I know we have a few people on the webinar right now, and welcome to you guys. We will take questions, as we go along, and we will have a time for questions, more general questions and answers at the end of the call. And after we go over some of the tools that you may want to use. So if you do have a question at any time, if you'll click the chat box, which should be at the bottom of your screen, and you can type in your question there. Jamie Carter from Demcast is monitoring and helping us make sure we don't miss any questions. Thank you, Jamie, for joining us. And just, I want to introduce myself. If you don't know me, I'm Lori Coleman. I'm the Director of Digital Strategy for Demcast. Demcast is a nonprofit that works to amplify the message of the grassroots. Our goals and our mission are to frame all of our digital content with a message of inclusivity and help promote those people that are out there in the field doing the work. And that includes our candidates who are stepping up to run for office. And we're so happy that you've joined us today. I'm actually located in Tennessee, and our panelist, I'll let Tudor introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tudor Mihailescu. I'm a co-founder at Speechify. It's a platform that helps regular people write posts for social media with input from the organizations they care about. Demcast and us at Speechify go back quite, I think, 8 or 9 months now. The history of Speechify, we actually realized that there was a huge need for activists to work together to give a voice to one another and to amplify the messages that need to be amplified. And we've created a tool that allows you to do that. About my background, I did a PhD in how American presidents write their speeches. I was a visiting scholar at George Washington University, and I've been working in the civic tech space for close to 10 years now. I was also on the Forbes 30 under 30 list in 2017. In recognition for the work that I've been doing in this space. And I'm really excited to be here with you today.
Thank you. We are excited for you to be here with us. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and I'm going to show you some tools that you have for your Twitter account on social media. Then we will go to Facebook and look a little bit in there about how to, see how your Facebook program is going and how you're, what things that are resonating with your followers and what things that, maybe didn't resonate for whatever reason. And we can talk about that more as we go along. This isn't really an introduction on how to use Facebook or Twitter. You can go to the Demcast website and view some of our past trainings. One of those is basically 101 Twitter use for activists. And that is a good place to get started if you just really are lost on Twitter at all. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. And so what you should be seeing is basically the Twitter account for Demcast. This is the home page for Demcast. I thought it was more likely to be closer to a candidate page than some of the, than like my personal account. So I want to be able to show you what this looks like, rather than us going through a lot of slides. But let's just get our hands dirty and actually look at some of these tools. So You know, here's the Dimcast home. This is our profile page. You know, it has our bio, it has our following and our followers. And what I'm going to show you today is really looking at how you can tell how individual tweets are sort of going over, what's resonating with people, and who is it resonating with. So if you look at our pinned tweet, so I recommend that you have a pinned tweet to your profile, because that's really the first thing people are going to see when they come to your page or your profile, to see who you are. And it's very good to have a video there. Videos get more traction than pictures or tweets without any sort of visual help. And at the bottom of the tweet, you can see this tweet has had 48 responses to it. It's been retweeted, that's what this circle means, 762 times. People have liked it, 855. And then this is basically the share button. And then this next little piece is this thing that looks like a graph, and it is actually the Twitter analytics for this particular tweet. So what it does is it gives me an idea of how many times this tweet was potentially seen. Impressions means it was delivered to someone's timeline. So if it could be that the person saw it, it might mean that they didn't see it. So that is not really as valuable as these two things right here. So media views, this would tell me that as the person scrolled through, they watched a bit of the video. They might not have interacted with it in any other way except for the fact that they watched your video. So that's a really important way to see, is your message getting out? Then you have total engagements, and that's basically the person interacted with this tweet in some way. So if I hit view all engagements, I can then see how did people actually engage with this tweet. So one thing people did is they actually clicked on the video. They opened up the video and listened to it rather than just let it autoplay. This is your likes and your retweets. How many people visited your profile after seeing this tweet? Okay. If you had a link, did anybody click on that link? So if you had a link to your website, you're going to, in that tweet, you would be able to tell how many after they saw that tweet actually went went to your website from that. If they expanded the tweet so that they're looking at it, it means they might not have liked it or retweeted it, but they did look at it. Okay. And then follows. How many people who followed you directly from this tweet? So out of the 696 people who actually clicked on the name, our name, 9 people followed us after that. Okay, and it could mean that they had already followed us, so they couldn't follow us again. But we did get 9 follows out of that. This reached a bigger audience by promoting this tweet. For you, it is not allowable, and neither for us, because Twitter has stopped all promotions or paid advertising related to political and social issues on Twitter for this cycle. What that means is that if you want to get more traction on the things you're doing and saying on Twitter, you're going to have to work with your followers to help amplify that. Okay, so let's close that out. So that will tell you how an individual tweet is doing. So for example, if I go down here to our most recent one, which is a Meet the Candidate, you can see it has not had as many likes and impressions. And when I go here, it's going to tell me impressions, engagements. And you can see it's less, it has less engagement. All right. Now, if you want to see more than just an individual tweet, you want to see how your Twitter account is doing overall. There's several tools to look at that. One is right here in Twitter, and that is when you go to the More option, you can see something that says Analytics. So when we go to Analytics, this top row here has to do with what's happened in the last 28 days with this account. So the number of tweets, you can see right now it's down a little bit. The number of impressions has gone up. Number of profiles, number of mentions, and number of followers. So you can see, and it gives you a little graph along the way of, you know, this kind of steady, looks fairly steady increase with that. Then it breaks it out by month. And so April, we've only had four days. You can see this is the tweet that earned the most impressions in April is going to be focused here. So you could go back and say, okay, in March, what did I say that really resonated with people? Why did that resonate? Why was that important to people? That this is a way, in some cases, for you to see, you know, if you're a candidate, what are people really caring about that they're interested in looking at, promoting, talking about? And then if you are mentioned by somebody, which a mention is somebody puts your handle, your in the body of a tweet, this will be here. So this is going to bring you up in your mentions, the tweet that had the most likes and retweets. It's going to give you your top follower, so who follows you and how many people follow them. So for this month, we have someone who's following us who has 332,000 followers. You want to think about, you know, are these people that are in your district, in your state? Who's following you that has the biggest reach, and how can you engage them to help support your campaign? And then this is the top media tweet. So in this case, it's something that had either a picture or it had a video, and this is telling you this was the media that caught people's eye. So within the top tweet, there's this option here that says view all tweet activity. And when we go to that, this is going to actually break it down for you by day. This may help you in picking, you know, when's your highest traffic day. So that could be helpful. And then this is going to look at your tweets. So every tweet listed in time order will be here. It's going to give you your impressions, your engagements, and your engagement rate. It's also going to tell you over here for the last 28 days, what's your average engagement rate. So we're typical average tweets get between 0.1 to 0.3% engagement. So if you're getting more than 0.3% engagement, you're doing good. So you can actually see, so for example, this one has a 2% engagement rate. This one has an 11% engagement rate. So you can kind of go through here and see which ones did better than your average. Okay, and again, what's the message here that you're trying to sell? And you can then just go look only at sort of your top tweets in the past 28 days. And it's going to do that, I think, by impressions. But look at those engagement rates, and then you can look to see, you know, what's the subjects that are resonating with people from your account. All right. Do we have any questions on Twitter analytics? And don't forget, if you have a question, just go to the chat box at the bottom of your screen, type in your question. If you don't see it pop up, you should see a little dot, dot, dot that says more, and you can open up your chat box. Okay. All right. So let's do a little bit more on Twitter and look at a couple of things that can help you both with your followers and your tweets. So one thing you can do is you can search anybody's handle here. So for example, if I were a candidate, I'd be looking at my competitors' handles to see what's going on with their account. How are they doing? And that will give you some insights into your competition. But I'm going to just search myself. And when you go, oh, sorry, this is at socialbearing.com. Socialbearing.com.
I think Tyler has a question. How can we search trending hashtags?
Perfect. So I will show you that in just a second. When you go to Social Bearing, then you need to, at the top, there's a place for you to sign in with your Twitter account. You can do this anonymously, but then it doesn't bring you back as many results. What this is doing is it's looking at what are the analytics for, at Demcast. Well, sorry, that's not our title. Let me go back to our title. Helps if you put the right name in. Hey, that wasn't right. Okay. So it's going to return a certain amount of results. It's limited by Twitter's API. If you see this little gray box, you can look at more than, you know, the next 200 tweets potentially. It will only go back 3,000 tweets, or 7 days usually is the max it'll go back. So whichever of those limits you hit first is what you're going to see. Now, tweets by sentiment. Let's talk about that. Twitter prioritizes tweets by the sentiment in which you are expressing it. And it's not necessarily a great tool that they have because you may be saying something positive, but you included a word that they consider negative. So one of the things that is crazy is that if you look at Trump's tweets by sentiment, his will be mostly positive because he throws in things like the best, genius, you know, fabulous, everything is excellent. You know, he throws in all these words that have a positive connotation, which drives his positivity up, which means he gets more traction on Twitter with the algorithm. So be careful and be thinking about the words you're using in your tweets, because it will affect how many people actually see the tweet itself. So overall, we've got a, 20, let's see, about a 20% or 80% mostly good. That's probably about as good as you're going to get, because we do talk about things that are happening in our country that are negative, and it's really hard to say that without using a word that Twitter won't like. It will show you how your tweets have done over time. So it will look at, let's see, it will tell you the time of day. Okay, so you can see that it looks like afternoon is really sort of our hot spot, with the exception of this one. It will tell you what are the hashtags that are associated with our account. And again, if you're looking at a competitor's account, you can see the kind of hashtags that they're using as well. Then it'll give you a word cloud. What are the most frequently occurring words? Okay. And then it will actually list all of the tweets down below. And with that, it can tell you, how many retweets, how many followers they have, etc. Okay, so helpful to look at your account, but also helpful to look at other people's accounts, so you don't, so you can kind of see how do you compare with your competition. So the question was, how do we look at trending hashtags? Well, of course, one way is to go on Twitter. And when you go to Twitter, we'll go home, and you'll see it has trends. And I can go to show more. And so these will tell me what's trending in the US. And if I take it straight to the trend page, I can actually change my trends by location. So if you have your location if I have my state and city in my account, then this is going to show me what's going on. And then you can also personalize it based on your location and your follows. Now, to search a hashtag, I would recommend that you actually go to Social Bearing to do that. If you want to see how much time or how much use a hashtag has, I'll put in hashtag. We use a state-based hashtag for Demcast, which has the two initials, the state initials at the end of each hashtag. And so this is going to tell me how many people this reached and how many impressions that we've had. And that is how many tweets in 18 hours. So it's going to give me an idea of how frequently this is being used, as well as how many tweets this is being used in. Okay.
And Lori, we do have a question from Joe on Social Bearing. He's looking at a Social Bearing, and it looks like it's looking at responses to his tweets, along with all the.
He says, never mind, he figured it out. All right, so this would give you some idea. This also helps you see what's the sentiment for this hashtag. tweets by source. This is about the devices people are using. This is good to know, particularly if you're looking at people who are following you. You know, are they mostly using a computer? Are they using and some sort of mobile devices? You can see about half of our participants are using a mobile device, and then 20% using a iPad. This will tell you what domains are being shared in those tweets. So if they're talking about you, if you have a hashtag that you're using, are they sharing a content that comes from your account or your website? Brandon, we're going to do Facebook in just a little bit. And this again shows you, if you go down, when's the peak time that people are using the hashtag over the last, and this is just over the last 18 hours, right? Because that's what we looked at. Okay, next thing is I want to hit, I'm going to hit Tweetdeck, and this is going to look crazy, but I'm going to show you how to manage it so it becomes useful to you. Tweetdeck.twitter.com is Twitter's version of account management. Okay, you have basically different columns for all your screens going on at once. Don't use it for that. Don't use it like it's Twitter. I'm going to show you how it becomes useful for you as a candidate. The first thing that when you log in and you log into your account, the first thing you do is make your home screen go away. So when you want to remove a column, you just go up to this, I don't know what this is, this weird little icon, and you hit remove, and it goes away. These are your notifications. These are any messages you have. And this is giving you your trends that are happening on Twitter right now. And that's based on who we're following and what our interests are, okay? So I don't want to see that, let's say. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Now, the first thing that's important, the reason I'm bringing this up, is that as a candidate, you may want to have someone else tweeting from your account. You may want to have your campaign manager, your social media or digital director tweeting from your account. In order for your account to be secure on Twitter, you need to make sure that we have two-factor verification on. And that is security that allows you to keep people from hacking into your account. We know in 2016 and in 2018, there were multiple attempts at hacking email, at hacking Twitter accounts. We want to make sure that you stay safe. So under your security, it's going to, it would ask you to sign up for two-factor verification. I strongly recommend that you do that. However, when you do that, it sends you a text on your phone. So anytime you wanted someone else to log in your account and tweet from it, you're going to have to be in immediate communication with them, be immediately available, or they're not going to be able to log in securely. So what Tweetdeck does is it allows you to build a team of people who can go to TweetDeck and tweet on your behalf without them having access to your passwords. And so you can see here, Team Deemcast USA. This is under accounts. In this column here, when I click on accounts, this pops up, and then I have something called Manage Team. And here I can add a team member, and they have to accept the invitation. When they log into TweetDeck, it'll say you've been invited to participate on this team. And then they will be a team member, and any of those people can then tweet from the account when they log into TweetDeck. Again, you can log into this on a laptop. You can log into TweetDeck from a phone. Imagine all of these things compressed on a phone. But you can do it, and if you do, you can you can close these on your phone. All right, and then all you would have to do is tweet from here. The other thing that TweetDeck does that is very nice is it allows you to schedule the tweet. So I could type in my tweet here. And I could add an image or a video from something in my computer or on my phone. And then I can either hit the tweet button and tweet it out, or I can schedule the tweet whenever I wanted to. So let's say I wanted to tweet this out before this started. Then I could have scheduled it to go out right when it's happening. Okay, and that would have been it would have gone over here in this scheduled. There's a column that says scheduled tweets if you have something that's scheduled. So if I go to add a column, I can see where's my scheduled. All right. Maybe I have to schedule it to see. And then when I hit that tweet, there we go. Now I've got this scheduled here, and I can see that it's ready to go out, and I can make sure it's going out at the right time. So I scheduled it for Monday. And I don't really want to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Okay, so that's really how to sort of find some tools to manage your Twitter account. One more thing I want to show you is a tool called Tweetonomy. And the reason I want to show you that is that you can look at who's following you. Who are your followers? And as a candidate, you may want to engage your Twitter following to help you, right? So how do you know, especially if you've got 50 followers, you can go through them manually and see, you know, who is near you, etc. You know, if you have more than that, it gets a little hairy. And so I may have to come back to this while it thinks about it. But you can actually download your followers. You can go through them about if they've listed a location, if they're in your state or in your area, and you can see how you can engage specifically with them to help them support your candidacy. While that's loading, and it sometimes takes a little bit if you have several, I'm going to switch over and look at something that's gives us some more resources. and that's our partner with Democracy Labs. So Democracy Labs is a nonprofit that is offering lots of free tools for grassroots activists, organizations, and candidates. They do a great job in offering some very short tutorials. And I just wanted to show you, their website is thedemlabs.org. And when you go to resources, they have all kinds of videos, courses, and tools here. They have grassroots organizing fundamentals for beginners. They have how to improve your phone banking skills. So this would be great if you want to do phone banking and your supporters who want to help you don't really know how to phone bank. You could embed this video and send it to them and ask them to review it before you started your phone banking program. This helps identify an application that allows you to collect videos from your supporters, and so they could selfie a video talking about why and how they are interested in helping you in your account. All right. They have different graphics that you can use. And then over under their blog section is another set of resources that is very helpful. So just some great tools for you to potentially use as a resource for information that you're tweeting or posting on Facebook. All right, let's go back. Okay. So you can see this has listed out my followers. Again, it's topped out at 15,000 followers. You can download and print it. But what I really like about it is you can search, and you can search. One of the things that you can search would be is by location. So if you're running in North Carolina, these are all people who have listed North Carolina as their location. Okay, you can sort it by a city or a county if you wanted to. Most people put either the closest geographic city that's large if they're going to list a city in their profile. You can also look for just the state abbreviation. That's going to give you a different set of people. But again, that's not going to be as good because anytime there's NC listed, it's not giving us as good results here. So yeah, so if I type in North Carolina, that's giving me 139 people who follow me that have North Carolina in their bio. I wanted to do it by city. There we've got the people that are following me from Nashville or have Nashville in, like this guy lives in Colorado, but he has Nashville in his bio. Right. That narrows it down to 47 followers here. Okay, let's switch over to Facebook. So for Facebook, we have the Insights page. So here's my profile page, or here's the profile page for Demcast USA. At the top, it has Insights. Insights are going to tell you what's going on with your page. And it's going to help you figure out what tweets, what posts are doing better, who you're reaching, how many people are following you, etc. And if you are running advertisements on Facebook, which you can, it's going to split those out for you. The Demcast page is not currently running for paid. All right, so it's going to tell you, and again, this is the last 7 days. Let's say I'd rather look at the last 28 days. It's going to tell me how many page views I've had, how many page likes, what's my reach, how many people have I reached in the last 28 days. It's going to give me the engagement rate, or how many engagement people that I've had, not rate. It's going to look at how many 3-second video views I've had. Okay. It's going to analyze my 5 most recent posts down here. So it's going to show me like what's getting the most engagement. Now, if I click all posts, it's going to give me information about all the different posts. I can see, which one got the most reactions, which one got hidden and reported as spam, and which one had the best engagement rate. So if I'm looking for, oh, look, this one has a 6% engagement rate. And this is the post that got it. So just some, you can also look at which one's got no engagement rate. This one got a 10% engagement rate. This one got a 0%, right? So take a look at the differences there. Underneath that is something that's called pages to watch. And here's something that I would do is I would list my competitors' pages under here. So I've added this, I wouldn't consider Political Charge a competitor, but it's a comparable sort of grassroots media, blogging kind of site. And so this is giving me an idea of how am I head-to-head against this other page. So for your, your competitor, whether that's your Democratic challenger or your Republican challenger or incumbent, you can see what the differences are there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop and ask for any questions you've had on anything that I've covered. And Brandon, any questions that you have on Facebook? Okay, so I will give, again, feel free to add questions, but I'm going to turn this over to Tutor. Let me stop my screen share. And Tutor, you should be able to share your screen whenever you're ready.
Sounds good. I think Tyler has a question about Facebook. Can Facebook Insights be used with your personal Facebook page? You're muted, Larry.
If you have a page, then yes. If it's just your personal account, then no. So there's a difference between having a page and just your regular account. Okay, if that makes sense. So you need to create a page for yourself if you're a candidate, and not just have a your personal Facebook. Okay. All right.
Can I go ahead? Okay. So the Twitter decision a few months ago to actually ban all political advertising was done with a reason. They wanted to incentivize political campaigns to actually use their own followers to raise awareness. So if you don't have followers, or if you do not have grassroots support, you should not be able to actually pay your way into it. And that's why leveraging the voice of grassroots campaigners, volunteers, or even just people who really believe in your campaign has become really important. Now, the problem with that is that most of the times people know what they want to say, but they either may not have the words to express it, or the knowledge, or they may not have the time to. And before we started working on Speechify, Demcast was doing this by basically giving activists Excel sheets where they were able to easily tweet out certain messages that they identified with. This is where we come in. We want to help give a voice to regular people around the experiences that they want to express. And I'll share my screen so that you can see what that looks. So the way Speechify works is this. So you, as a political organization, create a page where people land. And I guess it's easier to explain this if I actually show you an example. So Unite Blue, which is one of the organizations that uses us, sends Twitter DMs to their followers telling them about a specific campaign that they launch. And I can show this one as an example. So you receive this in your Twitter DM, you click on it, and it takes you to a Speechify page. And once you land here, you choose your social network, for instance, Facebook, and you see nicely written, ready-made posts. So the right text, the right hashtag, the right images. You choose the one you like, and you can share it easily. For instance, let's say I choose this one. Takes me to Facebook. I paste the text, and I can write, obviously, any customization to it I want, and then I click publish. And then my friends can see what I've posted. It only takes a few seconds, but you know you've posted something that actually represents the way you feel, and that your friends will also appreciate. But this is what it looks like. There's many campaigns that you can do this way on various topics. I wanted to show you another one that Dem has just created. This was about vote by mail. So see, this one has more options. Actually, the nice thing about it is that you can not only use it on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you can also use it on any direct messaging app you have on your phone, if you log in from your phone. See, for instance, Twitter, and it's the same thing. A number of options. People usually either schedule these posts or select the ones that they identify with the most and then share it. Click here, and it tweets it out. And this is what it looks like. In terms of what it looks like in people's news feeds, I want to show you This is one of the campaigns that Demcast did. And usually a typical twist storm that Demcast does generates from 20 to 40 million impressions in a few hours. So you can basically, which is worth from $10,000 to $50,000 or even more. So you can actually get, if you have followers, you can actually get them to generate the impressions that you need. And this is what the posts look like. See, different people share different posts with their own text, or either using the text that was already suggested to them and by customizing them the way they want to. You can also see the latest, which is the same thing. Another really cool option is that people can also build their own posts based on the building blocks that you give them. And I'll show you another Demcast campaign, which is Impartial Justice. So the way it works is, right, so let's say none of these posts is a post that you like. You can actually build your own. So you have a number of texts, a number of suggested hashtags, a number of images, and you put them all together. And in a matter of seconds, you've created your own customized post. And then you share it out. Now, one of the questions I receive quite often is, how do you share these out? How do you share the links? How do people find out about these campaigns? One of them is through Twitter DMs, as I've shown you here. Another one is through emails. This is, for instance, an email that Unite Blue sends to their followers as well. You see, you have a call to action, and then this call to action takes you to the Speechify page. And then you can share it out this way as well. Another really interesting one is also through the website. This is the Unite Blue website. And they have a call to action here, which is take action and make sure you keep Trump accountable for how he's responding to the coronavirus crisis. And again, this one takes to the Speechify page. We have another feature which allows you to embed the Speechify social sharing functionalities with your own website. And I can show you this one here. Oh, sorry, it's not that one. I think it's here. See, this is the Trump coronavirus outbreak timeline. If you scroll to the bottom of it, you see that Unite Blue has replaced the traditional social sharing buttons, those share small ones that everyone has gotten used to on every website, with these bigger share buttons where you can actually see what you're sharing, and you can select the one you like the most and also change the social network. Right? So let's say I wanted to do Twitter. I could click on this one to take me to Twitter, and I'll tweet it out in just a couple of seconds. And this is what it looks like. Now, in terms of what the analytics look like, I'll show you one of the recent campaigns that Demcast has done. So this is your dashboard. You can use the dashboard to create new campaigns, but also see the analytics of old ones. I'll show you the analytics first, and then I'll show you how you create a campaign. So see, on this page, you can actually see everything that has happened on the Speechify page itself. So the number of users who came on the page, the number of shares they performed, and the number of clicks that the link you asked them to share received. So it's basically acting like a digital advertising tool through the voice of your own followers. So see, Demcast got 321 clicks for their last campaign. You have a time series that allows you to see how many users you had on the page at any point in time, and also how many shares they performed. And even more than that, so you can track what content was shared the most. So see, this particular option was chosen 27%, 27 times. This one 18, this one 16, and also the most shared images. So it's also a way for you to A/B test your most successful messaging as well, and what your activists or supporters like. We tell you the shares per platform, the shares by post type, and also the shares by device. And we also tell you what the friends of your sharers clicked on. One second. Here you go. So this image, vote naked, vote by mail, actually generated 90 clicks. People like cats a lot, I see. And we also tell you the click rate per platform. As you can see here, Facebook was most successful in terms of driving clicks. And we can also see the geographics. Here you can also see, you only see the geographies in terms of countries. Someone joined from Namibia, which is really interesting. What we can also give you is the locations of your users and of your clickers based on specific geographies within the US, so that you can know for sure who clicked it out. In terms of what it looks like when you create a campaign, so it's pretty easy. You click create a campaign or edit a campaign, and you have a few options. Sorry. So you can upload a landing page here that you can crop for either mobile phone or desktop. You insert a welcome message. You can set the text that the friends of your sharers will see. So you can completely customize what this looks like. And that's it. You can also set categories for your posts if you wanted to put them in different categories. And then you build your posts. You enter the text here. You can either upload an image or a YouTube video. You can add the hashtags. You can add the link and select the social networks where you'd like that post to be seen. So, and then you can preview them here. If let's say, see here, the text for all of them is the same. If let's say you wanted to add a specific hashtag here for this one, so let's say Demcast wanted to be mentioned in every tweet that their followers were sharing, you can just update the one on Twitter. And if I click back on it, you'll see that Facebook and Instagram are not the same, and Twitter is different. A really other interesting fact is that there's absolutely no exchange of data between us and our clients, which is we don't need to have access to your own CRMs. We don't need to know who your users are, who your followers are, or who you're sending the link to. And also, there's absolutely no exchange of data between us and the users themselves. They don't need to log in through us. The only data we have are the data that Google Analytics provides in terms of the general numbers of people who come on our page and what you've seen, those basic analytics. That's everything we keep. There's nothing else. And the reason why we built it this way is because we've created this company being conscious of people's privacy, and we want to keep it that way. Any questions?
All right. Well, great presentation, Tutor. You know, what I think would be very helpful is for candidates is, you know, you could easily create, you know, social messaging through Speechify, and then, you know, send that out to your followers, and you can keep, you know, you can rotate the content and keep the same link, which I think is really cool. So you can update, and, you know, if there's one picture that's not getting shared at all, you can just change out that picture and the link is still the same. So I think it's very helpful, you know, from a candidate perspective. Now, Speechify is a paid tool. So if you are interested in learning more about how you could access that, Tutor, if you want to maybe drop your email in the chat. Yep, so he did. So it's tutor@speechify.tech. If you're joining us later, that's also www.speechifai.tech, where you can go through him and get more information about how to help that sharing. Okay. Overall,
one other point I wanted to mention is a new functionality we're just launching now will actually optimize the post that you create for your sharers, which means you'll input a text in and will tell you how likely that is to be successful with your own sharers. And that is based on what we've learned. We've had users who've created more than 40,000 posts through us on all major social networks, but it's also based on research, on academic research, and our own data analysis on publicly available social media posts. So you'll be able to benefit from that.
Right. Thank you for sharing that with us, Tutor. Any other questions or tools that you guys have who are on the call for now? All right. Well, we will post this video on our website in the next couple of days. It will be on our YouTube page as well. So if you wanted to go back and review the content, it will be there. And if you wanted to share it with, you know, other people, it'll be there. So thank you, Tutor, for joining us and for being a panelist here with us. And,
it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. And guys who are, you know, if you're on the call now, if you have other information that you would like to have more training on in the digital space, I would be glad to hear it. You can contact me at Lori@demcastusa.com, and you're most welcome. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.